Well, Peter Andersen joins me now from Andersen Capital Management to get a hold of all those earnings. Hi, Peter. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with First Republic Bank. On the face of it, it seemed that investors wanted to put the regional banking crisis behind them after the collapse of Signature Bank and SVB. Were they too keen to do that?
Well, given the heightened, stressed environment, I'm not at all surprised of any reaction investors would have right now to the banks. You know, banks themselves are inherently unstable anyway, but this has cast harsh sunlight onto the instability of banks. And it's no wonder that investors have looked at this and wondered if there would be contagion. Luckily, there has not been much contagion at all. But I totally understand with the whole behavioral aspect of investors that this would be something they would be concerned about, especially in such an uncertain environment that we have right now with investing.
It's one of the busiest periods in terms of reporting season at the moment. What have you made of the results so far? I mean, I said it was a bit of a mixed bag. Would you go along with that?
Absolutely. Mixed bag. I think that we will mainly be looking at their guidance going forward and making certain that they meet expectations of what investors are anticipating. I think most investors are anticipating that the Fed will stop raising rates. That should be very positive for technology companies. And so they'll be looking very closely to see what these tech companies will say in terms of signaling if they think the worst is behind them and that this recovery will continue.
So you mentioned tech there. We've got two massive companies later. We hear from Alphabet and also from Microsoft. Both are making heavy plays in AI. I know you've got strong views on that. What do you make of that strategy?
Well, I think we are in its infancy of artificial intelligence, or AI as it has come to be known, and everybody is hopping on the so-called bandwagon. It's almost like when we discuss ESG investing. Everybody has to have a narrative. And beyond that, some of these companies, I think, are just making it up as they go along what their role is. If you have a company that's making potato chips, for instance, I'm not sure that they would need an AI narrative, but they will certainly have one. And there's a lot of pressure to do that. That's the first thing. But secondly, we are in such an infancy that I think we have years before we can truly say that there is intelligence in computers. Right now, the general public, I think, is fearful that we have gone so far. But just to give you a simple example, a computer might be able to beat you at chess or Go, but it cannot even play a simple game of charades. And the simple game of charades should signal to investors that that's how far we are, that easy things to humans are very, very difficult still to computers.
Peter Andersen from Andersen Capital Management, many thanks for your time.